Is my voice audible? No, it's not. Is my voice audible? Yeah, it is audible. And the next thing is desktop audio. We don't need this. Actually, we don't need this. So I'm going to remove this. Yeah, only two are there. Okay, let's start. First of all, welcome all of you guys. The first thing that we are doing today in the local host information YouTube channel is solving this problem, that is reversing a string. Using the first is brute force approach, and the second one is, as usual, what we are going with the series, that is two-pointer approach. Let me just click on this. What is this problem statement all about? Let us go through that, and afterwards we'll come back. Okay, we are being given with a string HELLO. Write a function that reverses a string. The input is given as an array of characters. Yes, you must do this by modifying the input array in place with big O of n, extra memory. Okay, so HELLO is given. So what we have to do is LLEH. Write a function that reverses a string. The input string is given. You must do this by modifying the input array in place of array. That's not written anything, just modify s in place. Okay, we have to modify s. The brute force approach that is coming into my mind is very simple, that take this string, take another string from the last position to the first position, store it in the temporary string, and store this temporary string back to this. Yes, so that's the brute force approach that I'm coming. What I meant to say is, okay, the 344 reverse a string, and copy this. Let's copy this into the VS code. So what I meant is, yeah, microphone is on. So what I meant actually is 344, that is reverse a string dot reverse a string dot I, right? Okay, sorry, this should not be like this. Rename this reverse string dot py. Yeah. I'll do the brute force in LeetCode itself. Sorry, I'll do the brute force in LeetCode itself. What I meant is, I'm gonna take another string that is a, that is empty, for I in range. What ranges? Length of s minus 1. Sorry, what am I typing? Length of s minus 1 till length of s minus 1 till 0. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna minus 1. So whatever the value that I'm getting here is being stored in a. So this will be stored in a. This will be stored in a of. So let me take from the starting itself. I is equal to I is equal to 0. So a of I is equal to s of I. So I should not be 0. So I'll take another variable j. So a of j is equal to s of I. I'm going to plus this j plus is equal to 1. You do this after when you come back, you're gonna since you're not returning anything, you want to store it in yes. So if you do this and if you run, it should work. Let me just check. Oh, network error is saying unknown network error. I am connected to my network. Let me just check. What the hell is happening here? Yeah, unknown network error. Please reload the page. Okay, I'm gonna copy this code. Yeah, I'm gonna paste this. Okay, run this test case. This should work. You need to say, okay, okay, I'm not signed it up. Okay, I'm signing. Just old password. I can log in with Google as well. Yeah, I did login. Yeah, this is what I want. And run this. Should work. Okay, what it is saying? Runtime error. List assignment index out of range. Okay, 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 okay. J that is 0 is equal to S of length of S minus 1 till 0 minus 1. Or you can do it till minus 1. If that's the case, then this should work probably. No, still it is saying list assignment index out of range. What is wrong with here? S is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 minus 1 till minus 1 minus 1. So J is equal to S of I. J plus is equal to 1. So again you are going S of 4 you're storing. 3 is storing. S of 2 is storing. S of 1 you are storing. Okay, let me do for till 1. This might work, or if that's the case, okay, okay, J plus is equal to 1. So, hmm, what's the problem out here? I'm not able to get this. What's the problem out here? In list assignment index out of range. Let me just ask ChatGPT. What the error that I'm doing? See, I'm gonna go to Perplexity or ChatGPT, whatever the thing that you have, you can ask them. For now, just paste this. See, you are modifying the list in place s is equal to a only reassigns the local variable s and does not change the list object passed as the argument. Okay, so what we should do? अरे टू पॉइंटर अप्रोच नहीं चाहिए भाई मेरे को. I know two pointer approach. Loop does not include the first element. Okay, and it ends at excluding. So you have to do it till length of s minus 1. You dot append s of I. So phi is equal to okay. You're fixing your approach A not in place for learning. If you want to create a reversed copy, not capable, not acceptable for LeetCode, but conceptually, A is equal to this one, and then length of S minus 1 minus 1. A dot append S of I. A dot append S of I for a range length of S. So we cannot copy like that. So this solution will not be accepted by LeetCode as it is saying, but let us check till minus 1 because we have to include 0 as well. A of j is equal to s of I. This is one part. That's great. Or you can do this a dot append instead of using one more variable. You can use a dot append. The value that we are getting here is s of I. So we are appending unit of this j, but at the same time you want that one more thing, that is for I in range कहाँ तक चाहिए तुम्हें लेंथ ऑफ s तक. What do you want to do? S of I is equal to a of j. That's it. S of I is equal to a of I. S of I is equal to, okay, that this does cause me I think a problem. Have they used S of I is equal to a of I? Yeah, since we are reversing and storing, yeah, s of I is equal to a of I. It does work because we are storing the reversed value, right? So this should run, but it might throw some runtime error or something. Yeah, list index out of range. Yeah, runtime error it is throwing. So now let us use the two-pointer approach. So since this is not being given, what I thought of doing is with the two-pointer approach. I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0. We usually start like this with two pointers, but I'm reversing. So one I'll start with I, one I'll start with j. I'll swap these two values. I'll swap these two values till some point. What's that point is? While I is equal to starts from 0 and j starts from length of s minus 1 minus 1. While I is less than, I is greater than j, or I is less than or equal to j. What I'm going to do is, while this is happening, while this is happening, s of I comma s of j array I comma s of j is equal to s of j comma s of I. But after this, at one point I will be greater than j, so I will go here, j will go here. At that point you will stop this and return do this, and when this is done and over, we're gonna return. Oh, we don't need to return anything, it's already stored. So this is the approach, but it threw me some error. Oh, we will have to increment and decrement and solve. If you have yeah. I haven't copied the problem statement. So let me just copy the problem statement, because this is the approach that I use. Description. Copy now. Control C and then Control V. Okay, the cursor is not here. That might be the problem here. Control slash, and the answer for this is this one. I'm gonna just push it to the GitHub so that if tomorrow something is needed, I can fetch it. Copy path. Didn't work. CLS git and git commit minus the thing is reverse string using reverse string using ter get push some error pointer, because a string using two pointer. I do have one extra space here. I'm removing this extra space which I'm having, and then I am committing this git push. Yeah, it should get committed. Now there is a variation for this problem, that is reverse only consonants, not vowels. Okay, let us get the description for this. It's actually from ChatGPT, so I'll get it from ChatGPT. Okay, it's asking me to log in. Let me just shut my screen for some time. How to set this? Here. Yeah, now I can use this. We will do 1 minute, guys, and give me 1 minute, guys, and be coming. And the problem out here is what I need to log in this year. Do with Google, sign to my account, not this account, another account. Okay, okay, got my point. I have to use the another tool for this. I need chat to automatically log in. Chat GPT log in here, and here ask for the content approach in Python. Give me description for this. Give you description for this. So let me just check what it gives. I'll let you once this gets over. Example also I'll take. Yeah, I got this. Coming back to the VS Code, I'm pasting this. I let it this be as it is, and coming back. Yeah, I think my screen is visible now. I come back here. We put 4 dot variation, and the variation is refers string variation underscore to the refers only consonants dot py, right? And here the problem statement is this control slash what is this PC control shift P send mode, and problem statement is goes like this. Given a string S, reverse only the consonant letters in the string and keep all the vowels and non-letter characters, spaces, punctuations, digits in their original positions. So we have to reverse only the consonants. So A is a vowel, E is a vowel, I is a vowel, O is a vowel, U is a vowel. Treat both uppercase and lowercase as vowels. Consonants, any English alphabet letter that is not a vowel, we have to check. So preserve the case of every character, don't change letter case, only move the consonants. Input S, So S contains ASCII characters as well. So for example here H is a consonant, so I have to move this. E, L, L is vowel, right? E is a vowel, O is a vowel. So we are, what we are doing, reverse only the consonant letters in this strings, keep all the vowels and not in their original position. So in input is E L L O O L L E H, but the consonant consonant H will be moved, L L will be moved, but not E and O. E and O will be in the same position. E and O will be in the same position. So if we check, if we move this, so it will be like dash E L L, sorry, dash E L L, and sorry, E is a vowel, L L is a consonant, O is a vowel. So O will be staying. So now, if you reverse L L H L L, it will be here. It will come L L, and here it will come H. That's what we should be getting. L L is reversed. H L L L L H. When E stays in place. Okay, okay. Last. No, no. E I O E I O. No, no, no. This is not the correct example, brother. This is not a correct example. Let me just ask ChatGPT. Who gave me the wrong one? Wrong one, brother. Wrong one. This is wrong. This is wrong. It should have been. This is wrong. It should have been this yellow, I think. Yes. Let me see what ChatGPT replies. Think longer for a better answer. Acknowledging the mistake. Correcting example 2. Rechecking example 2. You're right. Yeah, it should be yellow. It's the correct answer. Not only. Yeah. We got. It's okay. So how do you do this in the code? So first you are defining the string S. That string will have this as the input. You are given with this string, right? So you have to check, and I am defining a function which is reverse every except, well, yeah, it's a unique name, but yeah, and it takes S as the argument. And what this function does is, we are using the approach to pointer I 0 j is equal to 0, but we will change it as we move forward. We took 2 pointers. At the same time, I'm going to define a list which is vowel is equal to, I'm going to define set of vowels here, E, E, I, O, U, and you can define the capital letters also, but now for the testing I'm using in vowel. For example, just for testing, so if A is equal to, let me just check, A is equal to A I E, and I'm taking A of 1, so A of 0, that is A in vowel, or let me just check E, so E is in second position, that is A of 2 in vowel, it is there, print root, yeah, UE. Okay, that is the case. Calling this function first except vowel, and I'm passing SSD. Okay, let me just run this and check. Yeah, it is printing true, so means this is working. So based on this, what I'm gonna do is this is okay. Remove this. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I have to use the two-pointer approach, that is while I is less than or equal to j. So if this is the case, what I'm going to do is I is less than or equal to j. What I'm going to do, I is pointing here, j should be pointing to the length of s minus 1. Okay, while I is less than or equal to j, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check whether it is a vowel. If it is a vowel, I'm going to move the pointer, right? If it is not an vowel, I'm gonna reverse it, as simple as that. But there might be this is h is not a vowel, o is an vowel. If first I'll decrement this value is less than or equal to g, and if a of I or s of I is not in vowel, and at the same time if s of j or also not in vowel, s of j not in vowel, if this is the case, then I'm going to swap s of I and s of j, right? S of I comma s of j, s of I comma s of j is equal to s of j comma s of I, if it is not, both are not vowels. But here there is a case that s of I is not in vowel, but s of j is not in vowel. There might be three cases. Which are those three cases that we discussed? Both are not vowel, I is vowel, I is vowel, j I is vowel, and j is not vowel. At the same time, there will be another case where see okay, alt slash yeah, select this, okay, alt slash is vowel, j is not vowel, I is not vowel, j is not vowel, I is vowel, j is not vowel, I is vowel, we are handling both are not vowel, right? And there will be another case where I is vowel, comma, j is vowel, fourth one is I is not vowel, j is vowel, right? I is not vowel, j is vowel. So these are the four cases that we need to handle. So first we are checking this case where we have to only focus on, among these four cases, we have to only focus on if it is not a vowel. If it is not a vowel, if it is vowel, we have to just move it apart. That's it. So if we have to concentrate only on the not vowel, if it is vowel, we don't give a shit about it. We don't think about it. To be honest, s of I is not vowel. So here, s of I, here what it is giving is a is not a vowel, a is vowel. Then we are not going inside. But this is wrong, since this also needs to be checked. So I'm going to just control X this. So this also needs to be checked. not vowel. If it is not a vowel, it's great. If it is vowel, is in vowel, is in vowel, then that's the problem. If that's the case, I'm going to just I is equal to 1. 1. If s of j is in vowel, should not touch the vowels. Which vowel? J minus is equal to 1. Or else, if both are not the case, then I'm going to swap both of them. So, else, what I'm going to do is this. So I will be moved here. So yeah, this also needs to be checked. The other condition is if so I is not in over and s of j is not in over. What I'm going to do is, if this is the case, then I'm going to swap. How do you swap? S of I comma s of j is equal to s of j comma s of I, right? And what you're going to do is I plus is equal to 1, j I is equal to 1. So here I is vowel. It is vowel, is in vowel. I'm just gonna push this. I j is in vowel. Decrement j. Else if it's not in vowel and j is not in vowel. I'm doing this, and after this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna print s. After this is done, I'm gonna print r loud s to just check. So I think this should work. Let me just run this. Syntax error. What's the syntax error? So if I is in vowel. What then? Evaluate it. Is okay. You know, this is in vowel. It's done. Yep. What's in variable? Term assignment is of I. J is not G. The problem in this. I'm not getting what the problem is. The problem is type string does not support item assignment. I'm not assigning the item, swapping. See, I'm not assigning the item, I'm actually swapping. Huh? 5 commas of g is equal to s of g commas of, right? Ask ChatGPT what the hell is wrong here. Alright, I can see you're trying to your I didn't understand the thing that it gave. And if this C and I'm gonna just use it in chat GPT. My friend, what this chat GPT is doing, your code is in trouble. When you string Python throws an error, it does not know as intended. So, okay, okay. That's what I wanted, only this line. My logic is properly working fine. So still it is saying some error. Don't understand what the hell is wrong with the code. Convert to list so that we can swap characters. So first it is string. So string means list now. So I don't know. I don't understand this. Okay, let me just convert this into a list. S is equal to list of S. Okay with this? Yeah, list of S. At home. Okay. Now A, B, C, E, D, E, F. Okay, A is in global, so we should not touch this. This is not a vowel, we should swap this. Not a vowel, B, C, swap this. Not a vowel, D is not an vowel, E is an vowel, we should not swap this. F is not an vowel, not an vowel, G, GH is not an vowel, A is an vowel, J is not an vowel. So we have only A, we should not touch. E we should not touch. J we should not touch. Actually, this is complex. Let me just take simple one. 1, 2, 3. Set X, Y. Output is digits and punctuation unchanged. We have to include digits and non-letter characters. Keep all the vowels and non-letter characters. Okay, it is also saying non-letter characters. अच्छा ठीक है space. So this works for vowel now. So if I give a string ABC, or if I give a string AIEOU ZXY, it should be XYZ. Y, so XYZ. XYZ, it should be Z by X. Yeah, this is working, so this is fine. But if we want to use it for all vowels and non-letter characters, it is spaces, punctuations, and digits in their original positions written the results of the string. Oh yeah, this is quite a complex one. If you try to make it that complex, that is, it should be not a space, it should not be a space. Can I do that? Let me just check because I saw one thing. Yeah, this is fine. Not as alpha. Yeah, it should not be alpha. And yes, yes, this is alpha. It should. I'm fine. Yeah, well, then you're, and also, and or, but even in this case, can happen. Soft I is is uh, uh, is the function. Yeah, dot is alpha. Dot pi dot is alpha is alpha. It'll give. We have to check. Not so pi is alpha. This will not touch this also. Okay, this that's not result. Then 1, 2, 3. Should keep 1, 2, 3 as it is. I dot is alpha. What's the problem? Syntax. Alpha will give me 0. Wait, true, but not equal to 0. So what's the problem with this code? Let me just ask ChatGPT only because it will help me to grow. Uh, Stupid one. And ask ChatGPT because it will give me some simpler code. I see what you're currently have new issues. Python is confused between int and not. D or not properly used. For case, skip vowels and non-letters from left or not. What's the problem here? Is alpha because Python is confused between in and not are being combined, but the and or needed. Vowel plus non-letter check or अरे वे I used or brother अबे यार or yeah. So what is this doing? Yeah, it is vowel it is checking 3 to 1. Okay, okay. This is not an alphabet. Okay, it's not including digits. Digits should also not be touched actually, right? According to the question, spaces, punctuation, digits in their original position. So do it for digits as well. How to do it for digits as well? Digits as well as it is. Touch digits as well. Let me ask ChatGPT. How to not touch digits as well? In your intention, if you want to reverse only consonants and keep vowel digits punctuation exactly where they are, you are checking for fun. What's the problem in my code then? You what? Yeah, I have used else part, but what's problem in my code then? What's problem in my code? Let's deep again. Problem is here, problem is here. What's the problem? I know. Vowel list includes the space. You are treating space as a vowel, which is conceptually wrong and it can cause logical errors when skipping characters. Not LFI.alpha checks, not in vowel. You check alpha instead of so J is alpha. Array, ray, got it. This is S of J. This is S of J. I know. S of J. Yeah. Yeah. That's the problem I was thinking. Everything is correct now. So, okay. We solved this also. So, I think it's enough for today. I know it's not been that good, it's not been that efficient as well, but still we learned a couple of things about today's stream. It's actually 47 minutes. Look, we only solved two questions here. Yesterday, one we solved squares of the sorted array and reverse a string. In reversing a string, we learned a lot of things, right? So we learned about the two-pointer approach and we learned that list is different from a normal string. So we solved using the brute force approach, which usually we do. We only uh, reversed first we only reversed the consonants. Again we improved by using a space. If it is vowel and a space, skip it, and again we improved by if it is vowel, space and digit using is alpha. So I hope you all have learned something in this video. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Tomorrow we'll be back with another superb two-pointer easy problem, or I think medium problem we'll solve and we'll learn together using our brain and as well as ChatGPT.